Hey guys, Jack on Wrist here, back in another video, and in today's video I want to talk about a new potential release from Rolex in 2021 and a watch I really want to see from Rolex this year, and that is a new potential Rolex Milgauss. So the Rolex Milgauss is sort of the odd one out in the Rolex catalog. I mean, it's definitely not as sought after as something like a Rolex Submariner, and even on that lower end of the Rolex catalog, something like an Oyster Perpetual, it definitely gets a lot more hype, especially with a lot of the new colorways that just came out. And I think the Milgauss really just becomes a model that, yes, is really liked and is sought after by a lot of collectors, but really just isn't talked about a whole lot. So as a quick little backstory, the Rolex Milgauss first came out in 1956, and actually it really looked a lot like a typical Rolex Submariner. It has a sort of dive bezel to it that has markings, I believe 1 to 5 on it, and it was really made for scientists and people that are around a lot of magnetic fields, as it had a 1000 Gauss resistance, and that was really important for people that were working with certain equipment that could mess up movements. Shortly after, it lost that bezel and became the watch that we mostly recognize today, especially known for that lightning bolt second hand that really makes it so unique. So after being discontinued for some time, the Rolex Milgauss came back in 2007 and really is the watch we really know today as the Rolex Milgauss. And although this is a great watch in my opinion, I think it really needs a refresh, and I think it could be awesome to get a more retro design from the Milgauss. I'm going to be showing some photos from a website called Monochrome, which basically rendered up a new potential Rolex Milgauss with that original bezel on it, which I think just looks awesome. I love this retro look, and like I said, it looks a lot like a Rolex Submariner, and I think Rolex needs to really start taking chances like this. I mean, they just came out with those different colored dials on the Oyster Perpetual, which you could say is taking a risk, but again, it's Rolex. They know their stuff's going to sell, and I think they really should take a shot in the dark here and really do something different. I mean, this is a design we haven't really seen since 1956, and I think it'd be really awesome to see a retro reinterpretation of this watch with the modern features, ceramic bezel insert, sapphire crystal, all the different features that, Rolex has to offer these days. And I think it would just be really cool. Again, I think Rolex really needs to start taking some chances, and I think this would be an awesome seller for them. So I think Monochrome did a great job with these renderings, and if you were to ask me what I'd like to see in a new Milgauss, well, I definitely like to see a glide lock clasp. That's something that I think is really awesome for their sportier models. I would also lose the polished center link. I really like the brushed center link. It's a little bit more sporty to me. That's just a personal preference there. I'd like to see maybe a 40mm case. I think that really is a great size watch that could fit any wrist for sure. And I would really try to bump up the Gauss resistance on the Milgauss, because honestly, that 1000 Gauss resistance is probably not enough these days. I believe the Omega Master Co-Axial movements actually have a larger Gauss resistance rating than the Milgauss, which is just kind of weird because the Milgauss was made to be anti-magnetic, and here you have a regular sort of standard movement in a lot of these Omegas that has a larger resistance. So I think they should really try to develop some kind of a new movement or use some kind of piece of technology, maybe silicone parts, whatever it is, to really develop something that's going to be way more resistant than anything else. I think that would really be awesome, especially in a world with so many different magnetic fields with phones and speakers and all that. I think it'd be really important to get a new movement in this thing. I think it would be awesome if they made this watch personally. I mean, I would really like to see Rolex take initiative to do things that are different. I mean, whatever they do is going to sell, and they should probably know that. So why not do something a little different? Why not do something retro, something that's going to be a little bit more fun? And I really would like to see that from the brand. I think they're getting a little stale with their designs. A lot of their watches to a lot of people can be very boring. At least to me, I think their watches are starting to get a little boring. I mean, those color dials from the Oyster Perpetuals are cool, but they're not really doing anything that's super sporadic, anything that's super daring. And so I would really like to see something like this from the catalog. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this new potential Rolex Milgauss. I think the rendering of this particular watch is just downright awesome. I would love to see it. But let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to see in a new Milgauss. Would you want to see that bezel? Would you want it to be more of that retro design? Or do you want it to just be maybe a new colorway of the current Milgauss we have? Or whatever it is, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear it. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated, and I will catch you guys in the next one.